Live.
We are now live. Let me post the YouTube link on Patreon.
Patreon. Patreon.
Glad I finally got all this shit figured out. All right.
Patreon. So this isn't on Twitch, it's just on YouTube's.
It's just on YouTube's. I will post the YouTube link in Slack if you guys would like to follow along. Give me a second.
Well, we always have too many questions to answer anywho.
Yeah, we do. It'll just take me 0 seconds. Okay, there. I posted it in Slack. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the August 2016 Patron Q&A for $20 and up patrons. We've got a lot to get through today. Brandon Jones was up really late cutting the rush hour last night, so he may not be joining us, but he may hop in. We'll see what happens. And Kyle is on vacation, probably hugging bears or something. So, our first question, and this is a good one to start out with, specifically for Ian, I think, even though it doesn't say as much. This is from Taggart McStone, and he says, "What's the Patreon budget on Pellegrino water? Can a soda stream be bought to mitigate cost?"
It's funny, we got a soda stream at the house just the other day because we were buying too much San Pellegrino. We're burning
funny.
2 San Pellis at Easy Allies home base at an alarming pace, I would say. Because Brandon always keeps that fridge stocked with San Pelli. So probably, I don't even know, a lot? $30 a week?
I would say at least 35% of the Patreon budget.
I know. I mean, I probably have at least one.
I have
Every
like
time I go
6.
Yeah.
I drink like a lot of I drink a lot of Patreon.
You drink a lot of Patreon.
There we go.
All right. Our next question comes from Steve Fallon. He says, "What do you all think of one-sitting games? By that I mean games that can be easily finished in one sitting. Personally, I love them. The Swapper and To the Moon are my favorites, but Gone Home and Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons are great too. I think the 2 to 4 hour length really lends itself well to a cohesive experience that doesn't overstay its welcome."
Totally into it.
I agree.
Into it. If that's as long as the story they want to tell, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I love it.
I love it, but like,
real cool.
yeah, Abzu, like, I love it, but I don't really ever have time to sit there for one sitting anymore. So Abzu, I took like 2 sittings.
Yeah.
So I feel like bad if I don't finish it in one sitting a game like that. You know? Oh my God.
Journey was a perfect example. Like, that was the easy game to do in one sitting, and it's like one of my favorite games.
Yeah.
I feel like the one-sitting games are becoming fewer and fewer, where, like, I don't know, we're not getting things like a Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons or like a Journey as often. I think like Inside and Abzu are recent examples, but there hasn't been a lot beyond that. Hey, Brandon Jones.
Hey.
Bound is another good example.
Okay,
yeah.
maybe we are getting a lot. Maybe I'll take that back.
I almost finished Bound on the stream.
Yeah, I finished Bound and I didn't even get up for a bathroom break.
Cool. Our next question comes from Lucas Smith. The year is 20XX. Easy Allies have finally reached the 50,000 goal. To celebrate, the Allies go to a dance club. Oh my God, this question's really good.
Oh.
Flush. God.
Derailed.
Sorry, man.
After a night of merriment, one question is on everyone's minds. Who dropped it like it's hot the worst?
The worst. Does that mean the best, or?
No, the worst.
I think in this context it's like not 80s context, but actually bad.
I think this question leaves a lot open to interpretation.
I think it's just saying who's a bad dancer.
There's some terminology in there that's not from my lifestyle. I don't know.
I mean, Huber, clearly, right? It's very hot right now for Huber. He's dropping it all over the place.
Yeah, he's dropping it like it's hot right now. I mean, you saw Bounding. We're all wonderful dancers.
It's true, yeah.
I'm the worst dancer you'll ever see on the dance floor.
We would all commit.
Yeah.
But it definitely Brad or Huber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm terrible.
I was going to suggest Kyle, but...
Oh, probably Kyle, yeah.
The funny thing is, probably way easier for me to do bounding in the middle of public where nobody's doing that
Right.
than to dance at all in a place where everyone's doing that.
Right. I agree. It's a scary thing. That's the biggest problem with dancing is like getting over the self-consciousness of dancing.
For others, it's just the lack of coordination.
Yeah.
Alcohol fixes both.
For me, it's a combination of both, man.
Well, I think if you lack the coordination and you have no confidence about it, then it's really fucked up for sure. I like that question though. These have been good so far. All right. Our next question comes in from Ulf himself. He says, "Hello, allies. I was wondering what your least favorite type of villain is. Mine is the type that insists that he is honorable or acts according to chivalrous code, yet his side keeps doing horrible things. The hypocrisy just grinds my gears."
A villain that keeps telling me how awesome they are and everything they do, like Handsome Jack, is a villain I hate a lot.
I mean, just poorly written villains at all, I think, is the issue there in both cases.
Sure.
What I'm tired of is where like your friend betrays you and says you don't know how he feels.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like that's a really big one.
I think you took the words right out of my mouth, Huber, because nothing is worse than like a villain that does truly horrible things over somebody that was just like a dick to him once. It's like it's not worth a lifetime of tyranny just because your friend upset you when you were 12.
What about Dio, Ben?
Dio's awesome.
The thing is like Dio started out feeling like betrayed by life, but then I think he just fucking enjoyed being evil, which was pretty awesome.
Jonathan, for some reason, and he just ran with it for like all of eternity.
Yeah, like by season 3, he's just like drinking blood of naked ladies and like looking at himself in the mirror. Like at that point,
yeah,
that is just beyond like the Jonathan thing. He's just having a good time at that point.
Brad actually said something earlier that I thought was a spoiler, but I was like, oh, because he said, you were like, oh yeah, the later seasons of JoJo are really good, but season 1's so good because Dio's just such a good villain, and I was like, uh-oh. Brando gets taken out at the end of season 1, but I guess not, because I like him.
Who knows?
My least favorite villain is the dumb villain, is the way you just misunderstood what was happening, and then they just rampage for the whole movie or show.
Right.
Classic example is Eric Bana from the first Star Trek. We're just like, no, Spock didn't destroy Vulcan. And then like, he's just dumb. He's wrong. Like, he has the power to do bad things. He misunderstood something somewhere, and I don't understand how, as a viewer, I'm supposed to like root for that person at all, or put up with a movie where I'm just waiting for. No one can stop him because he's just too powerful. No one can like hold up a sign and be like, no, you're just stop for 5 seconds and think.
That's terrible in any movie where it's like everything could be solved by one person telling the truth one time, like heroes or villains or anything. Also, villains with one Achilles heel, like Superman, like you just gotta get some kryptonite and then everything's fine, you know, or like other villains. Ugh.
It's a rare resource, though.
You're a rare resource.
That's true.
Our next question comes from
Kyle
Ahmad.
Bossman joined
Hi,
us.
Kyle. You got a haircut.
Hey, buddy.
Whoa.
Oh, haircut.
Kyle Bossman snuck in there.
Hey.
It's from
Our
like
next-
Motel 6 or something.
Yeah, using a new corner.
I'm on vacation, man.
Nice.
So red.
Our next question comes from Ahmad. He says, Netflix wants to make a high-budget series based on your D&D adventure. Who do you cast as the main characters?
Ooh.
Keanu Reeves.
John C. Reilly would be the dungeon master.
Oh my God, Ben.
Like
Yes.
he introduces each episode at the beginning and end.
Well, that, and there are also moments of narration where it's just John C. Reilly's voice, where he's
That's
like,
cool.
Pomper felt betrayed, or I don't know. Yeah.
Can he be Dr. Steve Brule running the game?
I think appropriately there would be some Brule moments. Like it wouldn't always be there, but it would come out sometimes.
Bern Gorman would be Nicator for sure.
Oh my God.
I don't know who that is, Brad.
Look it up.
Yes.
Huber
What
does.
is his name?
Bern Gorman.
10 out of 10.
Who is it?
And listen
Oh
to him
my
talk.
God.
And listen to him talk.
That is the best.
I gotta listen to that.
God.
This is perfect. This is the perfect Nicator, Brad.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Totally.
You guys
Who-
have to explain him or his body of work to people who aren't Googling right now.
Yeah, he's in.
Who's not Googling right now? I mean,
He's
come
a
on.
smarmy British man.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's in like Game of Thrones.
Oh, he is in
for the
Torchwood.
story
That's my
arc.
view. I remember him.
He's the nerdy scientist in Pacific Rim as well.
Okay.
Yeah. God, I can't think of who would be a good Therese.
Ian Cass himself.
Yeah. I mean, Aubrey Plaza is the easy choice, but I don't really like that. Oh,
I think
man.
she's too comedic for Therese.
Yeah, she's too comedic. Like someone like a better Selma Blair, but back in time, like young Jennifer Connelly, but I need to think about
Go
it.
on.
I'll just spout it out later.
Jennifer Connelly's the best.
True.
Hubert, did you pick one?
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves is Pomper.
It's
Oh
like
my
a
God.
half dragon. What?
Heavy prosthetics.
Can you imagine him like doing the voice with no modification?
Clearly, like through a mask. Clearly, an actor with lots of stuff
big
on his face.
plastic
It's like,
mask,
Hello.
You can hear the plastic like crunching every time.
For Yogala, I think we go to a small British theater and pull out a genuine old man who's not very good at acting. But I think that's the only way the role could work.
Doesn't
That
have to be an
actually-
actor necessarily. Just needs to be in a theater at the time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That sounds perfect.
Yeah.
Excellent. Our next question comes in from Silent Continent. Scenario: you receive consonant. What did I say?
What? You actually just silenced that consonant.
Whoa.
Our next question comes in from Silent Consonant. He says, scenario, you receive a gift from a loved one. You peel back the paper and open the box to find a single game, the game you always wanted. Perhaps a game you've long sought after. What game is in the box? Why did you want that game so bad? What relevance does it hold? Is this like an imaginary game or a game that already exists?
Your rules, Ben.
It doesn't
sounds
say.
like a
It doesn't
game that
say.
exists.
It's open.
Well, I mean,
But I
it
mean,
sounds to me
it
like
is
I want, I
everything.
have. So
They're baiting us out for presents to send to us.
Oh.
Nobody say anything expensive.
Right?
I have no idea.
It's
inbox.
I have no idea how much it is, but Goonies 2 for the NES.
All right.
Is only available in cart. Was never virtual consoled anywhere. And that is a favorite NES game of mine. And don't know where my copy is. Don't know where that wound up. I wish I could have put a tracking signal.
Oh. I'm gonna make this real interesting.
Oof.
I'm gonna go with the game that was never published, Earthbound 64.
No.
Oh, good one, bud.
Well, there goes the not expensive.
Huber.
The Punisher for Genesis.
Nice. No story. No context.
It's like hard to find.
What is that
It
noise,
was
Kyle?
hard to find.
Kyle's cutting down trees on vacation.
I played it.
Snarky Jones is very funny.
I played it in the arcade a bunch of times as a kid. I don't not any specific arcade. It would just appear when we would go on family vacations. I've never played the home version, so later in my years I found out that it was also on Genesis. Just never had it.
Mine's a 3DS with the Mega Man Legends 3 demo loaded onto it.
Ooh.
Leah Seydoux with brown hair. Okay, sorry.
No, it's right.
There we go.
What's your game, though, Ian?
He's 5 minutes. You gotta wait 5 minutes.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Every game I've ever wanted, I just have.
All right.
Wow, must be nice.
Must
I
be
mean,
nice.
I'm an adult with a job, but I mean, I don't know. I liked Aladdin for the Genesis.
Yeah, somebody got that code right.
I did. It's
Yeah.
weird. I think it's the SNES version. It was weird.
Wait, really? No, it was the Genesis version that they had, because the SNES was a different publisher.
Oh.
Oh wait, no, it was a PC. It was a PC version, but I think it
Yeah.
was basically the same as the Genesis version.
It seemed different. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe my memory has betrayed me.
I think mine would be Seiken Densetsu 3, because I never got to play that, and it seems really rad, and it's gorgeous.
I guess actually it'd be a version of No Man's Sky that has compelling gameplay and a thoughtful ending.
Well, that's just a totally different game then.
Yeah.
Just play Destiny instead, bro. Hop in.
No, stop.
Come join
this.
me.
No. Stop this nonsense. All right, our next question is from Joe Town. He says, Allies, hope August was good for you. Simple question this month. What's your favorite chill-out spot? I'm writing this from a small coffee shop in my town that always manages to relax me. Love and respect.
There's a place in Anaheim. It's got a castle. I like to go there sometimes. It's a fun time.
Oh my god.
The
I don't
You
know.
chill out there? You don't chill out there though. Come on, man.
Yeah, I don't chill out there at all. I'm not. If you see Jones at Disneyland, there's in no way is he ever chill. That's a
Jones,
chill.
where do you
There is
where
no
do you go to
chiller.
get creative?
There is no chiller place. I get super creative at Disneyland, man.
Do you? You come up with ideas and stuff?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I
That
gotta
works.
do something in those lines.
Sure.
Pokemon.
I don't think you have to get creative at your chill-out spot.
All right.
the ArcLight Hollywood Bar. Usually get there like 2 hours before a movie
That's so weird.
and just hang out.
Like it's a
There's like
plane
this-
flight.
There's like these two
Check in.
bartenders that are really, really cool. And I just turn the world off for like, 2 hours plus the movie time. It's the
Yeah,
best.
you make that a 5-hour ordeal here.
Yeah. And like ever since I went to a movie with Don Casanova there, he made me even more obsessed because ArcLight has the big thing up front that like has all the movie times, and he's like, yeah, every time I'm sitting here, it's like I'm at a train station waiting to go off into some other world.
You're leaving reality.
I'm just like,
On a
Don,
train.
yes.
Nice.
That's awesome.
For me, I think it'd be, in LA, it'd probably be downtown Culver City because I go there I grab lunch and go to movies and stuff. There's a place in my hometown called Coffee Talk. Well, it's across the river from my hometown in Taylor's Falls, Minnesota. But it's called Coffee Talk. It's run by a guy named John Coffee. Like, no shit.
Oh yeah.
And it's just delightful. It's so pleasant. I really like that place. There's a cafe in LA called Paper or Plastic that also has the similar vibes. Well, different vibes, but it's chill.
Anytime I'm on Sawtell Boulevard, I'm really, really, really relaxed.
Yeah.
It's like no joke. Like it's such a chill time. Just like going to a favorite restaurant, and I don't know, like it's never loud or anything, and at night it's really like lit up super well, and then just going to have a nice meal and then going to get boba.
That after meal
Good.
boba, then.
Dude, the after meal boba is like the happiest moments of my life. Like that is where Ben is at a 10.
Ben, have you ever tried shave ice? You ever
I
tried-
have.
Brian's Shave Ice?
I have. Yeah, shave ice is cool.
There's apparently a place right off of Sawtell that has the best shave ice in
Ryan's
Los
Shave
Angeles.
Ice, yeah.
Ryan's
Well,
okay.
There's
Yeah.
Brian's Shave Ice, and then there's Blockhead, which is right around the corner.
It's one of those that my brother keeps screaming at me to check out. So.
Every time I'm on Sawtell, I walk by Brian's Shave Ice with my large boba milk tea, and I just like mutter casuals under my breath, and then I like move on.
I go to the Max Karaoke over there all the time. What do
Oh,
you
the Max
call?
Karaoke is great.
What do you call that area, Ben?
I've heard it referred to as Little Tokyo.
We always called it Little Osaka, but then now there's an actual sign that says Sawtell Japantown, and I'm like, well, that's
I've heard
dumb.
I've heard Japantown as well. Yeah.
Little Osaka, because it's like Little Tokyo,
Yeah.
but even smaller.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. I might take that.
Anyway,
Target.
Target.
Oh gosh.
That's
What-
the
There's so much to buy.
least chill place on the earth.
Lots of video games at Target.
SodaStream.
That's not a serious answer.
You buy some towels.
Yeah, Kyle,
Feel
give
good
it a
as fuck.
serious answer.
I feel good when I go to Target. Feels
Yep.
good to be at Target.
What
I always feel
feels
terrible
good
'cause I
about
spend-
Target? For you?
It's so busy.
For real question.
I go late. I go late at night. I should say that first. Is I like to go at 11 p.m. and
Nice.
just feel the lights and the smells, and it's Target at night is unlike anything else. It's you have plenty of space to push your cart wherever you want. You can look at all the Pokemon cards, and you don't have to there's nobody judging you at 11. It's good. It's a good place. It's when I do all my grocery shopping, all my clothes shopping. I buy everything at Target. It's good.
You're the most American person.
Sometimes it's so hard to tell if you're trolling.
I think this is pure. I think this is pure.
Yeah, this is a sad,
Yeah.
shocking truth.
So let me
about
get this
pathetic man.
straight. You look at the clock. It's 11 p.m. and you're like, oh shit, time to go to Target.
No, he's got to check earlier than that. He's got to get to Target by 11.
Yep.
Huh.
Awesome.
Time to go look at Pokemon cards where no one can judge me. Man, this is great.
No, not gonna say try it.
Target has the best
No, I'm
delivery.
not knocking it. It's,
I need to know where to get Pokemon cards now because I'm in the market.
There's this place called the Internet, too. That no one will judge you if you're looking at cards on the Internet.
They can't entice you on the internet.
True. True.
I don't know that I have a particular place at the moment, but just anytime that I can go to a friend's show. I've got a couple of friends that do small shows all the time, and just sit in the booth somewhere and just lean back and relax and kind of half close my eyes while I listen to the music.
that's a pretty sweet answer. But have you tried Target?
I got these Pokemon cards.
All right. No, that was good. We did well on that question. All right, is everybody ready to move on?
Yep.
Okay.
Force Damiani into the next question, though.
I will. All right,
Yeah.
Damiani.
Have you spoken at all?
Not since I've been on.
Yeah.
Okay, there he is.
I tried to answer the villain one, but no.
You were muted.
No, I have myself muted in between.
That's all right. That's all right.
I don't. No, this is to the audience. I'm really bad at jumping into conversations. I wait for a long pause, and if there isn't one, I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not good at that.
Got to
You ain't
attack.
gonna find one a long pause in this group.
Yeah, I know. That's.
Your camera is so zoomed in.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you're real close to the camera.
Oh, I'll fix it.
Damian, I'll have you go first on this one if you have an answer. I'm not gonna make you do it if you don't have an answer, but this one's from Rick Argomenes, Rick and Robo, friend of the
Rick
show.
and Robo.
Yep.
Yeah, we saw him at Kingsglaive. That's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. He says, time is a precious commodity these days. There's so much we all wish to experience, but not nearly enough time to do it all. With that said, I have a scenario for you. A lot of scenarios today. You're presented with this opportunity to enter a hyperbolic time chamber. The rules are as follows. Time outside the chamber will only pass as 1 hour, but you will have been inside the chamber for 1 month. You can bring one other person with you for company should she feel the need to. Everything you need will be provided for you to satisfy your goals. What would you take? Would you take this opportunity, and what would you spend it doing? Getting in shape, reading books? Thanks.
Oh dear.
This is everything to me. Everything.
Jeez, the most obvious answer is to go through your backlog of games that you
Yeah.
say you're always gonna do, but you
Mhm.
never get through. But I bet even if I had that hyperbolic chamber, I still wouldn't do that. I'd probably think of something else to do. But I would theoretically would like to go back and play through my backlog of games that I keep claiming I'm gonna do and don't do.
Even my backlog from the last 6 months is intimidating right now.
Yeah. It'd be really tempting to. I'd probably do what Damiani just said, but it's also really tempting to destroy a game in 24 hours. So have that be a Monday that some game came out over the weekend, and then Tuesday's a group stream, and show up at the group stream with just a universal knowledge of the entire game. Mass Effect Andromeda comes out, and the next day you're done. It's what? And you're just spouting off the spoiling things right and left. That'd be fun.
I have an important question about this question that I know Rick and Robo can't answer, but it's important to know if you age at your speed while in the hyperbolic chamber.
I say yes.
You have to. But it's just a month, man. It's just a month.
Yeah, but if you have access to this more than once...
I think you only get to use it once.
Oh. Well, either way, I would write. But, The thing I always dreamt about was being able to freeze time but not age while time was frozen, but could move, you know?
It's
And then
got to
you
come
could-
at a cost.
You could do that all the time. Well, that's the thing. Like, I don't want to die a month earlier, you know, universally speaking.
Yeah, you're not going to die a month. You'll age a month earlier, but you're still going to die from some stupid accident later on.
I suppose. But yeah, I would write a book.
If you don't age, would you actually create memory?
It depends. Does memory creation, is it an intrinsic act of destruction of your brain?
Wow. Two things. One, you couldn't play online multiplayer, and two,
Yeah, that's funny.
No, I would
super
question
fat.
that. He said all of your needs would be satisfied, like to accomplish your goals. So if you wanted to play online multiplayer, you could. I
For
think.
people-
I think.
How would your actions
outside of
dictate
time?
people in a different time stream?
We're getting too off track.
This is the track. It's very important. And
We're getting like too crazy into theory.
if you were writing, this is all about theory, Brad. If you were
Anyone-
writing, you
Anyone
couldn't-
that's in the multiplayer session with you experiences the hyperbolic effect,
they don't even see know it is
but they
happening.
don't even notice that it's
Look at
happening.
their clock later. Their wives across the room like, they're like, what, honey? What? I'm just like, your hands move really fast for 10 seconds.
I'm a gamer.
Yeah. The Mountain Dew kicked in. You also couldn't, if you were writing, Ian, you couldn't do research on the internet because I'm assuming internet wouldn't work because the speeds.
I don't need to do research. I contain multitudes.
That's what I was afraid of that. I shouldn't have brought that up. I'm done.
You can always research later, though.
Yeah.
What you do is you'd piss out the whole like 6 novels,
Research is just get in the way.
and then
So we know-
afterward you fix it.
Yep.
Let me know if this is okay. I want to hire a music teacher and
Ooh.
learn to
Instead
play
you
the
could bring
piano.
someone in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
But
Yeah,
I think
that's
I
pretty
have to
good.
pay that person a lot of money because
Yeah.
I'm saying you live with me for 1 month, and every single day for 8 hours you're teaching me how to play.
Can you imagine that hell?
Yeah,
That would be the worst.
So I think it's going to cost me $10,000, but that's what
very
I want
demanding.
to do. Yeah.
I'd watch all of the anime that the patrons have recommended.
No, you
A
wouldn't.
month of
No, you
anime
wouldn't.
wouldn't have enough
straight
time.
anime.
Need enough time.
I guarantee you would not do that.
Your
You wouldn't
brain
get through
needs
One
to
Punch Man.
decompress between those, man.
Because I play games in my free time anyway. So it definitely wouldn't be video games.
Okay.
So it'd be something I normally wouldn't do. Hence the anime.
Bossman, you got a soda
You-
stream there?
Here's the thing, Hubert.
A soda
you would,
stream?
You would make it through like 2 series,
Oh.
and then you'd be like, "This is garbage," and you couldn't like will yourself to watch more.
I don't know. They recommend some pretty good ones.
No, they do. They do recommend good ones.
I would beat all the Yakuza games.
Yeah.
Right answer.
Right answer. You win.
Nice, dude.
Good question.
Nice.
Our next question comes in from Liana. Lovely name.
Yeah.
If you could only have one console out of anything that's been released so far to play games on for the rest of your life, which one do you pick and why?
Ooh.
I think. Can we cheat? Can we say PC?
I was
Does
gonna
that
say,
count?
does PC
Yeah.
count?
Sure, enjoy your PC, bros.
Oh
Yeah,
my
you can
god,
also
Kyle
edit
Bossman.
And write
oh
on
my
the
god.
PC. It's the smart choice.
Yeah, because you can emulate
No,
everything.
no, no,
Enjoy
no,
your
no, no, no.
target.
It
I
said
think-
all the games ever released for it, you cannot emulate.
They were released on emulation.
No,
No,
they're
sorry,
released
bros.
on emulation.
That does
No,
not count.
sorry.
Wow.
That does not count.
Sorry.
I think it's a more interesting
Travis
question if
doesn't want
PC's
to
not
play
allowed.
Nintendo games on PC. That's why he's so mad.
I think it's more interesting if PC is not allowed. They specifically said
It is.
console.
It is more interesting if PC's not allowed. I agree.
I'd
with you.
say PS2 because it's easily the greatest system ever released. Undoubtedly.
Easily? Easily?
It's not
Undoubtedly.
It is
You gotta
not.
back
That-
it up.
no, that
Back
is
that
not.
But also,
is
you
not
can play
easily.
PS2 games officially released for the PS4.
No. Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
guess you can. That
They're
counts.
released for
PS
PS4.
PS4 for me,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, PS4.
Ladies and
Because it
gentlemen,
has 3
PS4K.
and 2 and 1.
PS4K, please.
PlayStation 1
Good pick.
has all the games I would ever need in a lifetime.
Attention,
Yeah.
baby.
I think I'd pick Super Nintendo.
Oof.
That's like so close to my pick, Brad. Here's the thing, no, Brad, why I didn't pick Super Nintendo is I feel like Super Nintendo games, even like the best ones, are on average like much shorter.
Sure, yeah. But
That's
there's
it.
like I mean, PS1 has this too, but the catalog is so huge.
Yeah, it's good. It's an amazing system. No
Like
doubt.
I could just replay those platformers like over and over and over on there too.
The backwards compatibility. I mean, I might actually pick PS3 because I could play every PS2 and PS1 game.
No, they got to be released.
That yeah, I
So
think.
I was going to
backwards
cap. So
compatibility is. I mean, that's released. What do you mean? It
if you
works on the
remove
system.
backwards
It was
compatibility.
not released for that console.
All right. Well, if you remove backwards compatibility for the sake
Yeah,
of argument, I would pick Super Nintendo as well. But if you have backwards compatibility, I'd pick PS3.
Okay.
I mean, you can't. You're talking about the inherent state of the console, like it's backwards compatible. Like you're making a new console by making it not backwards compatible.
But
All right, but the language of the question was released for that system.
Yeah. So it'll be backwards compatible. It'll be the same console, but you can't have any of those games.
Yeah,
That's why PS4 is the good answer, because these games are being released for that console.
Yeah, I hear you. I gotta go PlayStation 1 as well, though.
Good choice.
There's no PS1 games on PS4 right now.
I'm surprised no one said PS2. I'm like blown away.
It's not undisputedly the best ever, Huber.
Yeah, I agree.
It has the sheer volume of the catalog of the games. Like it has the most tens.
But
Yeah.
those are all coming out for PS4 now, so compose yourself.
I think PS1 might rival it, Huber. PS1 had a lot of games.
I think there are more PS1 games that I love than PS2 games, but that's just me. Their next question comes in from the hashtagonist. Another interesting one. Hey allies, if Pokemon were real, which of the allies would be the first to actually be eaten by Pokemon due to wandering in the tall grass or other dumb mistakes?
Kyle.
Kyle, yeah.
But Kyle
Yeah, I
knows
would-
all the Pokemon. He would know he'd know the warning signs.
Kyle's like shooting Mr. Robot in
You wouldn't
this picture. Look at that framing right there.
Yeah.
I would actually argue that for this question, it might actually be Huber, because I think Huber would be like so enthusiastic about seeing a Pokemon.
And trusted.
Yeah, and he would just run over to it.
You'd just be like, Gyarados, hey!
I think the enthusiasm might kill him. I don't mean that in an offensive
No,
way.
I could agree with that.
I think that makes sense. Next cue.
All right, moving on. Joel Short with the Final Fantasy VII icon. I like it. He said, if EZA is given the chance to do a sit-down interview with anybody from the video game industry, who would you all pick? Ex-voice actor, developer, music scorer, programmer, CEO, online personality, basically anybody. My choice would be the animators for the original Battletoads on NES because I absolutely love the headbutt sprite. Also, thank you guys for all that you do. You guys keep a smile on my face while I was deployed last winter at GT, and while I'm deployed now as EZA, you guys are amazing. I can't wait to get home to my PS4 and finally get to play Uncharted 4 online. I'm proud to be a patron and ally with all of you.
Wow, thank you so much.
That's awesome.
Oh, boy.
I can go first.
Yeah.
Do it, dog.
I'll track the. Can it be the creators of the original Castlevania? Since
Yes!
no one actually
That was
knows
my
who they
answer!
are.
Oh my god!
Sorry, like that's like if you have that wish, just do it. Like that would be like the most amazing thing. Just sit them down and be like, just to know why. Like, why did you create this? Like, what inspired you and stuff? And like, who are you people? Like, that
So
would
wait,
be
no
great.
one knows who they are?
No.
No.
We know the lady who did the music.
Yes.
Everyone else they just moved on to other companies and they don't care. Like none of them come out because that's the crazy thing about Japan. Like nobody in Japan, none of those people are like, okay, I want to clear the air about this. It was a weird idea. You know, we were on a team. I moved on to another game, which is why I didn't say anything. It's just we'll like I'm gonna die and never know who made that game.
But what? That's crazy to me.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
didn't.
They don't own the IP, obviously.
It was like not a popular thing to do because no one really thought anything of them while they were making. I was just like, another game, whatever. Like it wasn't a thing that you're like, oh, I made this. You wouldn't like go to a party in Japan and be like, I made Castlevania. No one would care. And and I think there was also like pressure from Nintendo or something where they're like, we don't want like it doesn't matter who made the game. Nintendo made this game. We don't want any
Right.
people like running off and making like cool savant projects equals and stuff.
Yeah, they all had to use code names and stuff. Like that was that trend everyone knows about, just because they didn't want talent poaching and stuff, especially like in Japan. Like there was like no value in the developer, or the actual programmers back then.
That's incredible.
I will never forget when we did the Castlevania retrospective, going room to room at GT, and like, you know, tension growing with every room, being like, "Are you serious? No one like," because they're like, "Oh yeah, they did the funny credits." I'm like, "I know there's the funny credits, but like, what are the real credits?" It's like, I don't know.
This sounds like a game sleuth, baby. Figure it out, Damiani.
Some guy did a Kickstarter to go to Japan to try and find that. Did not figure it out. So
it's up to us.
Whoa.
So
Wait,
no.
the Kickstarter got funded, but he still couldn't figure it out?
It was part of his thing. You remember the guy who did like the History of Japan video games book or whatever?
Is it Chris Kohler?
No, The Untold History of Japanese Video Games is what it's called or something. Got a lot of really good interviews with old developers, like from like Enix, from old Square, old Nintendo, but when he tried to do it with Konami, just got like stonewalled. He found the address of someone he had tracked down on the Konami credits, and the person there said like, "I have no idea what you're talking about. Wouldn't talk."
Whoa.
Sounds like the guys who worked on it might just not want to talk about it. Period. So that's why this wish would be great, because you kind of like force them. It kind of sucks, but you know, hypothetical. Like I would never impose my will against someone in reality.
Damiani, I was gonna go online and buy this book. Why is it $88?
I don't know why it's $88. There's more than one now, and there's like DVDs stuff. I kind of stopped paying attention to the Kickstarter updates because there was some legality thing going on. Like some of the translators tried to sue him or something for not paid wages, but apparently it was all made up and was a vindictive thing to try and screw him over. I just got tired of the drama. I just stopped. Like I unsubscribed to like the Kickstarter updates. I was like, man, this seemed like a really cool thing, and then just got completely derailed by this drama. And I was like, I don't care about your stupid lawyer and legal court stuff. I just want to read about like these cool interviews with developers. And yeah, I don't know why it's $88, but I got it for like much cheaper than that.
There's
Kickstarter. If you want to borrow the book, anyone, just let me know. I'll bring it by.
There's another version I found for $35, so that's
okay.
More reasonable. Who else would like to interview somebody from the
Oh
gamers?
man, I would totally talk to Nomura and figure out what the hell happened versus 13, and like that whole story about that entire game.
That's a good pick, Brad.
Oh my god.
Oh man, look at Blood. Blood's like the Deus Ex logo right now.
What's that? Oh. Yeah, I'm actually. Yeah, I'm kind of curious about what in the world happened with the Nagoshi. Like, how the heck did he go from like the Monkey Ball Man to the Yakuza Man? And then like, I don't know if he was involved in F-Zero GX between that or not, because I know that was his studio. But it's a really weird transformation on that guy.
I'll tell you when I tried to get. Oh, go ahead, Hubert.
I was just gonna say Yu Suzuki for me.
Oh yeah,
It is.
that could happen.
Next
That could
D3
happen,
Huber. Next D3
Somebody
Huber.
could pitch that to us next to E3 Huber. Like that could actually happen.
Make it
What?
happen, dude.
Insane.
What I love about Nagoshi Blood is, dude looks like he runs like
Right?
a Yakuza. Like he looks like he belongs in the Yakuza.
He lives that lifestyle, dude.
Like I mean this in the best way. He looks like
Research.
he's killed a man. Like it's
He has for research.
it's awesome. He's a cool
But if
dude.
you look at have you seen the Monkey Ball era photos though? Did you look at those?
I'm gonna look at him. Okay.
It's like once he started on those games, he adapted the look.
Oh my God! Yeah, he's so much softer in the Monkey Ball era. Like he looks like a dude that would made Monkey Ball. But then like you go to the Yakuza era, and like man is made of fucking steel. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like if Ono suddenly got hard. It's like what?
Oh man, it's okay. Sorry, that's just fascinating.
So this is something I tried to get going for Final Bossman. Why not reveal it now? I wanted to interview directors of press conferences, and it's actually super hard to do. They lock it down. And so I wanted to talk about press conferences of the past, the people who are in the control room, the people who are organizing these shows and determining the pacing and how long everything gets everything. You can't really get that kind of access, at least on my level.
Are you
But I always wanted
trying
to do that.
Are you trying to talk to the technical directors, or like the people actually calling the shots at the show, or are you talking about the people
That.
planning, like the
The
executive?
people, I guess so. The whoever is deciding what goes when in the press conference, what music we use where, the scripting,
okay.
who gets to say what. But generally, I really want to know how these are planned because they're shows. You know, the Emmys have a director. There's somebody who directs that show, and I don't know who directs a press conference, and nobody
It's probably
does.
a team of people.
Yeah.
Kyle, I got to see that at E3 2007, the Nintendo.
Behind the scenes.
But they made me sign an NDA. They don't want that stuff. They don't like people talking about that and like knowing how they do their press conferences. They like
That's
keeping
crazy,
it a trade. They like keeping it a secret. I don't
It
know if
is
that's
a super
changed.
secret.
It's been 10 years roughly, but that was their mentality back then.
It has it, Damiani. I got a bunch of dead ends. I wanted to do it so bad.
I mean, you'd probably have to talk to like a PR company that wasn't involved in games. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the detachment from the producer the first time I did the Keeley, pre E3 big show that we used to do at All Access, and the first year, like me and this producer were just screaming at each other. I mean, she was screaming at everybody, but like it was just like the emotions were so heightened that week. And I was just like, wow, this is crazy. I've never done anything like this. What an experience! And I remember she was like leaving when the whole thing was over. It was like we were done. We were wrapped. They were tearing everything down, and I passed her on the way to the elevators. And I just kind of said, like, hey, like, that was crazy. And she gave me a look like, why are we talking? Like, why? Like, what are you to me now? The job's over. I'm done. She's like, I don't know the elevator. She's like, I'm out. Goodbye. And just left. I was like, that's so crazy. You're going to fly to Detroit tomorrow and do the same thing for the next 4 days and just keep
For
going.
some car thing. Yeah.
It's a job. It's a job to her. She's like, whatever. Moving on.
Mm-hmm.
E3 what? What's E3? Just like, okay. Moving on. So, yeah, they're detached.
That's a good story.
Mine would be Miyazaki or Kojima, just because I want to know what happened at Konami. But yeah, Miyazaki, just because it seems like he'd be fun to talk to. Probably.
For sure. Our next question comes from Raymond Chow. This one's a simple one. How great is sushi? Is the question.
Fantastic.
It's pretty awesome.
I was ashamed the first time I had sushi after college. It was like, what have I done wrong with life where I haven't found this out?
See, I think sushi.
You grew up in California, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a little weird to me. Like they're just sushi was just completely foreign in Florida. So
I just love the Japanese are like cutting things with knife. No. All your bites are right there. There you go.
I think
I made them for you.
I think sushi is very much unlike pizza, where like I pretty much enjoy all types of pizza. Where like sushi runs the gamut from absolutely terrible, will make you sick, to completely divine, like some of the best food I've ever had. Like the quality of sushi is so up and down that like you can't just get any sushi. Like you gotta know you're getting good sushi.
Yeah, man. It sucked being back in Dallas. All the sushi places there were pretty casual. My dad kept trying to take me to ones that his business partners would say were good, and I would like finish there. My dad goes, "All right, so how was it?" I was like, "Oh, just okay." It was like one of the best sushi places in Dallas. I was like, "Sorry."
I like that. Not even Damiani's dad can get his approval.
It's all he wants.
Ben, one of my favorite moments of culture shock was being in Japan and bringing up avocado and having people in Japan be like, avocado out of here. I was like, wow, it's really good. You put it in there, like.
That's super funny. Our next question, well, I think this is more of a demand, but our next demand comes in from Rory McGuire, Ruwari, if you will. He says, Allies, now that I have successfully gotten Brad to capture footage for Top 10 Sewers and gotten Ben to stream Ark the Lad, it has become evident that I have some sort of evil power. This is why we can't do these things. My question is, what should I use my evil powers to do now? What would you like me to get another ally to do? Perhaps the Dragon Quest retrospective. P.S. Ben finish Ark the Lad 1 and play Ark the Lad 2.
So what would any of us like someone else in Easy Allies to do?
What should he use his evil powers for to get somebody to do that?
Bring Backtrack back.
Ooh, good one.
Bring it back. That's good. It's my favorite show. I'm not gonna stop until it's back, Bloodworth. I'm getting Rory on the case.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of miss doing countdowns a little bit. I kind of want to do.
Do you then?
I
Yeah,
do.
until you're
I
in the
know.
trenches.
You monster.
I kind of miss
Oh,
being
just
in the
got-
trenches, though. Like I don't know, it's
Just threw
getting
up
a
my mouth.
nostalgic for it.
I miss the conversations for countdowns.
Yeah, there was an energy to them that I missed a lot.
That energy is called
Sometimes.
anger.
Yeah, I feed off the anger.
There was
Energy
some
was-
energy.
Called fatigue on a late Friday.
Yeah.
I didn't have to edit them though, or capture footage, so maybe that's like.
Yeah, that's a big part of it.
I
You wrote a paragraph that had a fun.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I like to.
Actually, no. I do pick the Dragon Quest retrospective. Ben plays and writes and captures the entire thing.
You make it sound like it would be bad, but dude, if you said Ben, go do this, I'd be like so down.
I'd have to be a part of that too.
Yeah,
I wouldn't let you do that alone. I'd be into that.
I would be so into that, Brandon.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
that would not deter me. Let's go.
We just made a mistake.
Yep.
Evil power wins.
Oh my god.
Are we ready to move on?
Yep.
Sure.
Okay. Alec Church says, "Hey allies, what's your go-to RPG character name? Has it changed over the years? Example, in 2006, I was making my first WoW character, and the random name generator spit out Kureb or Kureb. He pronounces it two different ways. I still use it for my character name to this day. So, what is your go-to character name?
Hogger.
Oh,
It used to
Now
be
it is, at
Ocelot.
Yeah, it used to be Ocelot. Used to be like Hitman, because I used to be so obsessed with Hitman, like when in my youth.
47. Yeah.
Just like generic name Hitman.
I've seen so many Hitmans, so
Yeah.
Mine is. Sorry, go ahead, Doug.
I'm already a generic RPG name, so.
Bloodworth.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it is, but like the last 12 months, I've just been naming all of my characters Morella, so that's one that I've been going with.
I
And
know.
I was.
You make that up then? Where's that from?
Just made it up.
Nice.
Nice.
I'm super against it. I'm super against having a standby. I feel like every character has got to be its own character, and to have a carryover name is so strange to me.
Kyle, it's okay, man. It's all right.
Yeah, live your life now.
It's all
I
right.
want to live.
The way I look at it is that every character is me, like the
Right.
me I get to be. So that's why I use the same name for all of them, because it's always just me. More
not,
real
though.
than the real me.
It could be a whole other character. You could play it
that's what
differently
I'm
than the
saying.
other
Nah.
ones. Oh,
It's all the same individual.
all right.
Yeah, you
That's-
super
Dude, the judging going on right now is like too much for me. to
Yeah,
handle.
Ruari, use your powers to make Kyle not a garbage person.
Less judgmental.
Whoa.
Damiani's got one. Damiani was about to do one.
Yeah, I'm kind of weird. I don't pick like a character name that like I build identity around usually. I usually pick a character name from a show or anime that I'm watching at the time. If you go back and watch some of the
Avatar
like the GT RPG reviews, you'll see like you can tell like, oh, Damiani was watching Attack on Titan. He's naming every character Mikasa in these reviews and stuff. And then as Ian just said, yeah, like Korra and more recent stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of Korras.
If you go back through GT reviews, you'll see like you can tell what Damiani was watching through the names of the characters I was using. I kind of like that, and it kind of stuck with me. It's kind of like a weird quirk I do now.
In high school, I think I used Luther, and then in college I used Zenkai, and then I switched that to Zenkaya, and then since GT I've just been using Lilia for everything.
I like Lilia. It's a good one.
Lilia is good.
It's a good name.
Our next question. This is my not gonna lie. This is probably my favorite one. The whole thing is just amazing. All right. So our next question comes from Chad Ball. I recently watched Sword Art Online. Since then, I've been wanting to watch more anime. What's a good beginner anime with English voice acting and that is not too crazy?
Oh.
P.S. No hentai monster.
Ooh.
How
Whoa.
about Bebop?
Yeah.
Now,
like
now we got
English,
judgmental.
not
What's that
crazy, and
about?
no head tie?
Yeah.
No, that was in the question. I'm just
I don't
reading
know,
the question.
Full Metal Alchemist.
I'm just
Yeah.
reading the question.
Well, either
You can
Full
look it
Metal
up.
Alchemist is good.
Dragon Ball Z.
That's
Dragon Ball Z
it's
is
so long.
a massive thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a little
no.
overwhelming.
Cowboy Bebop is like actually the entry level anime.
It's like
Otherwise,
The thing about
Watch
Cowboy
this.
Bebop, though, that's frustrating is like you watch Cowboy Bebop and everything else is just less good. Like so starting at the top, I think, can be a little disheartening because that's actually a dub that is really really good. That's
The dub
probably
is
the
incredible.
best dub I've ever seen.
I think it's the right
Yeah.
answer, though. Go watch
I think
Cowboy
it's-
Bebop
it's
right
the
now.
obvious answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And then if you really want to get depressed, watch Serial Experiments Lane.
Hey, you could start a step below Cowboy Bebop and tell them to watch Samurai Champloo first, and then go to Cowboy Bebop. Most people usually watch Cowboy Bebop and then go to Samurai Champloo, and they're like, "Oh, it was good, but it wasn't as good as Cowboy Bebop."
Right.
So
Really
Yeah.
disappointing.
tell them to watch in
Or just-
reverse order.
Just pick about any Ghibli film.
That was gonna be my second thing. Yeah, you just start. I would say start with Spirited Away or Princess Mononoke.
And this one.
That's funny.
Woo-hoo!
I
That's
think
funny because Princess Mononoke is actually one of my lesser favorites from them. Like
I
it's
think-
lower on my tier list.
Yeah, well, you can only go up from there.
It's very long.
If you're gonna watch My Neighbor Totoro, wait to watch it after Grave of the Fireflies,
Oh Jesus.
because that's how they were. No, that's how they were released in Japan. The Grave of the Fireflies was so depressing in Japan that they made it a double feature with Totoro, with
Yeah.
Totoro coming after Grave of the Fireflies.
The
So people
Schindler's,
left feeling better.
the Schindler's List of anime.
It is the most depressing thing I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's really heart-wrenching.
What
Good
what
lord.
I don't like is specifying not too crazy because like most of the good anime is crazy. You know what I mean? Like
Maybe
like
maybe-
what is normal anime? I guess
You gotta let
yeah.
go. You gotta let go.
you gotta let go.
It's-
Like Fooly Cooly. It's
Yeah, fully
Yeah.
is what I'm about to say. It's shorter. It's not. I think the crazy is the length. Like saying a Naruto or One Piece or
Oh, sure,
Dragon
okay.
Ball. That's
Yeah,
like
Dragon Ball
think that's
Kai,
what they
less than
meant.
100
it's
episodes.
intense.
I would
Less than
recommend
100
it,
episodes
though.
is insanity.
It's always amazing to me. Sometimes like there are those people out there where you'll recommend something that is like 600 episodes. And you're like, good luck. And then they'll come back to you like a weekend later, and they'll be like, yeah, I'm all caught up on One Piece. It was awesome. Like, I don't understand.
They
Impossible.
Huber it.
Yeah, but I think they're like even more hardcore than Huber, even though Huber is pretty hardcore.
So what we're saying is
Animated.
those people just actually have that chamber we were talking about.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah. Huber's got that chamber. He can't possibly be watching all these shows. It's like Huber with
Yeah.
time to watch shows and Ben with this endless stream of money to buy every game. Like you've got some kind of trick.
Brent, yeah. Brent Phillips, who built our website, is that kind of guy. He'll come back on a Monday. It's just like, hey, did you watch this show? And I'm like, oh no, did you start that? He's like, oh, I finished it. I've seen all the seasons. I'm just like, how did you watch a show we've never talked about and you're done? Like when did that happen?
But I sacrifice anime. I'm not caught up on anime, guys. It's
Yeah.
one of the sacrifices.
You'd be amazed the way you can afford if you just stop spending $600 a month on Pellegrino.
Great teacher Onizuka. I want to throw that in there too. GTO.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Honey, good recommendations.
Because I was thinking of that, and then Golden Boy, because it's only Golden
Wait.
Boy is made by the English dub. It's only a few episodes, the anime, but
Are you actually recommending Golden Boy? I don't know if I can
the
get
English
behind
dub
this.
is hilarious. It's the dumbest shit ever. But if you watch it like in Japanese, it's like there's nothing special. It's just dumb. But the English dub is like, oh god.
Did anybody say Death Note?
I did.
Does
Okay,
Death
cool.
Note have it done?
Yeah,
the dub
Death Note
I don't
is
think is great.
I don't think that
Alright,
episode-
though.
I haven't
What
seen
anime has really great dub besides
Cowboy
Cowboy
Bebop.
Bebop, probably.
You know what's sick is Paranoia Agent.
That's why you don't watch dubs though.
I know.
Oh, Paranoid Agent. Yeah, Kyle, you are totally correct, man.
I mean,
Good pick.
any
kid
of
with
the
the bat?
stuff,
Yeah, kid with the bat.
any of the stuff that was on Adult Swim like a few years back.
Not any of this stuff.
Not any of it, but like Paranoia Agent, Cowboy Bebop, not Inuyasha.
Yeah.
I hate that
Okay,
show.
Inuyasha is so garbage, but it's like a really endearing garbage. It like that show is fucking gutter trash. It's so bad.
Jeez.
Kazami.
Yeah, never forget Kazumi.
Yeah.
Probably avoid Berserk. It's probably too intense.
Don't avoid Berserk. Berserk is like
No, I mean Berserk is like god tier, but he said no
God
hentai.
Read Berserk. Don't watch it.
I would argue that Berserk isn't hentai, but I see where you're coming from.
Right.
Sorry, what did you say, Brad?
I said read Berserk. Don't watch it.
The
Well,
movies are
the
incredible.
97 anime is good, and the movies are good. The new anime.
Manga, dude.
I know the manga is the best way to consume it. I agree. You're right.
It's interesting when if you've ever done both and you kind of see where the timeline was or whatever. Because, Nazca, like, the movie happened, like, when they were still partway through the manga. And so the manga is, like, really different.
Oh,
They wrapped up the story in very different ways.
yeah. Asuka was also technically pre-Ghibli era as well. That was kind of like right before they formed. Still good. Man, I wish I knew. Akira does not have a good dub. I don't think I've ever seen it in English. Has anyone seen Akira?
I've
English?
seen Akira in English. I didn't think it was terrible.
It's not terrible.
Nah. That and Ghost in the Shell, I wasn't sure about their dubs. I forgot.
I think the Ghost in the Shell movie dub is fine.
Yeah.
I don't think either of those are like offensively bad. But yeah, you should watch Akira and Ghost in the Shell. It's like prerequisite. Also, Evangelion, you just got to do it.
Oh God.
Just gotta power through.
I love Evangelion. I genuinely love it. I think it's great.
It's the initiation ritual.
It is. It is the initiation ritual. Like that's the beginning of anime. For you, it should be the beginning of anime for you, not in general. Whether you love it or hate it, you got to get through it. All right. Our next question is from Robert. He says, Ben, thoughts on Hardwired and the new Metallica album in general? So Hardwired is the new Metallica song, and quick preface, Metallica is my favorite band for like a bunch of very personal reasons. Like they will always be my favorite band. I think they have done some incredible things, especially back in the day. I know the other allies like to make fun of me for it, but
I love Metallica.
I stand behind my Metallica love.
There's nothing wrong with like Metallica. I just like make fun of his voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Axl Rose is a dickhead.
Axl Rose is a
Wrong
dickhead.
man.
Yeah, it is a totally
we're
different band.
switching bands now, but okay.
Out of nowhere.
Random Axl Rose.
And you're just like, Axl Rose is a dickhead. A little random. But anyway, to answer the question, so I've listened to the Hardwired, the new Metallica song, like 10 times, and I cannot bring myself to love it. Like, the lyrics are so atrocious that I can't.
Give me a lyric. Give me a lyric.
No, I'll give you the chorus.
Okay.
Okay. He goes, "We're so fucked, shit out of luck," but he just draws out like everything. We're so fucked, shit out of luck, and like it's painful. It's painful to listen to, and I can't enjoy that song. And the thing is I love their last album. I think Death Magnetic is not perfect, but it has some really good stuff on it. There's so much good heavy metal out there, and I'm bummed that like I don't consider this new song to be part of that. But
And
anyway.
would you say Metallica got worse when they all got sober?
No, I don't necessarily think that's it. I think they got worse when they thought they were gods. Like, the success of the Black Album, the like ubiquity of like Enter Sandman, would probably make anybody think that they were a god, and I think that arrogance was their downfall.
Mm.
For sure.
Like Coldplay.
Sad but true.
I don't understand the Coldplay comparison, but all right, no elaboration on that.
Next question, Flex to the Head.
I
got
wasn't
so
commenting on the
ubiquitous.
Coldplay either.
Coldplay just went two great albums, man.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. I'm with that.
How long has Coldplay been around?
I think since the 80s.
Okay.
But yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
The scientist was 89, I think.
Are you serious?
Wow.
No.
Who has been around
no.
since the
No,
80s?
like
around
in this,
that
Are you
long?
kidding me?
is
Kyle
this
Watson?
revisionist history?
Rory,
No,
save
no.
us.
It was on an episode of Cheers. Yeah, they used it at the end of the episode of Cheers.
Oh my god, this
Oh
is
my
This,
God.
now this is one elaborate troll. The scientist
Formed
was
in
based
1996.
in 2002.
What a dick!
Oh my god.
Put him on timeout,
The
man.
scientist
Put him
was on an episode of
Mute him.
Cheers.
Mute him.
Oh my fucking god.
This guy, dude. Always got to do this.
Dude, I bet part of the reason Kyle Bossman loves going to Target is he like gets to look at Pokemon cards while the scientist is playing. All right. Our next question comes from Seth. He says, "Howdy, allies. Earlier this year, I officially became a freelancer for IGN. Congratulations.
Nice.
I mainly work on the wikis, but can also write articles and give pitches. The thing
Good
is,
wikis.
I live in people use them to platinum The Witness. The thing is, I live in Pennsylvania. I want to make this my career, but I don't know how to go about getting across the country. Those of you who had to travel to chase your dreams, how was it, and how did you go about doing it? I'm very passionate about this industry and love to make a career of it, whether it's working somewhere like IGN or doing something like you guys are doing. Also, I'm currently 21. Wow, so young. So any information on when to take my chances and move forward would be much appreciated. I've been following you guys since the Game Trailers days, and you are all a huge inspiration to me."
I mean, you have your foot in the door now at IGN. I would strike now. You know? And just jump.
Yeah.
Just go. Like,
The-
there's no better time than now when you have your foot in the door, you're established at IGN.
I disagree with that.
Yeah.
the younger, the better usually. But the problem is, IGN's in San Francisco. Because of cost reasons, I would not recommend jumping in there if you don't have like a full-time gig, and even then, maybe know some people and find roommates. But San Francisco might be a little rough on you financial-wise. But I think you should try and consider either getting to the West Coast at some point. Just keep hitting them up and asking them about if they have any open positions and stuff. And I think that's like the best course is just wait for an open position and say, hey, I've been like freelancing doing good work for you. Do you think I'd be a good fit for like full-time staff salary, something like that?
Did this person specify if they were in college or not, Ben?
No, they just said I'm 21 and I live in Pennsylvania.
College is over at this point. It's done.
Yeah, probably. Because I was going to say internships are sometimes a good way to start places. Sometimes you can leverage that, but not always.
I agree. I don't think you should move out to the West Coast without a full-time job just because of the cost. But I'm not saying don't follow your dream, because you are in like an incredible position where you already have your foot in the door freelancing. The absolute best thing that you can do is just bolster that freelance work. Like, keep writing bigger and better things for IGN. Like, keep building that out and get that lead, and maybe you'll get a full-time job there. But start writing for other places. Start pitching to other places. And if you are pitched to a place and you're like, hey, I already write for IGN, and you can point to things, you're so much more likely to be listened to anyway. And then if you do apply to a full-time job and you're like, hey, I've written for, like Destructoid, Games Radar, IGN, you've written for like 5 different places and not just one place, that's going to be so much better. So just work the freelance angle as hard as you can.
But also, to kind of add on to that, but also just devil's advocate, that don't be taken advantage of, because a lot of places on the internet will say, oh, you'll write for exposure, oh, you'll work for exposure, and you're basically just working for free. And if they can get you to do it for free, there's a pretty big chance they're not going to pay you for it later because they're getting you to do it for free. So,
I want to clarify. Never, ever, ever, ever write for free.
Yeah,
ever.
never write for exposure. Never do anything for free. You're better than that. Value yourself, and others will value you. And it's kind of weird. I mean, on the one hand, don't move to a new city if you have literally no connections. But if you have friends in a city, especially friends that you can live with, and if you're confident that you have enough money to pay rent, or you can get some kind of garbage job, just not in your target industry is what I mean by that, but where you'll be able to make money and pay rent, it's sort of like being a server at a restaurant in a sense. Like you can't do it until you've done it, you know. So it's like, how do you bust into that? So being in LA or a city where the target industry that you're in is only going to help you if you can afford to survive. So take care of yourself and make sure that you can responsibly live, but being in the place is like, I mean, I'm making up a number, but like I think it would improve your chances probably double if you're actually in a place and they can hire you. Because, you know, friends of mine who are trying to move from one place to another and stuff, like, the first question is, oh, where do you live? And if you say something like, oh, I live on the other coast, they're going to be hesitant, you know, to take the plunge with you.
Yeah, I mean, Huber got his gig at GT just because he came up and shook our hands at that GT meeting. He was just here. He was there present. I totally slept on a friend's couch for the first month after I moved to LA. It's helped so much to have a buddy here or in San Francisco. Probably San Francisco in IGN's case. I hope you have someone there whose couch you can sleep on.
And also, I imagine this is maybe more true or as true for San Francisco. Oh, wait, is he still talking?
Who, me? No.
Oh, sorry. The old adage of LA is like, your first year is going to suck. And, like, that's pretty much true. And also, in my experience...
Your 5th year is also going to suck.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in LA, every year is going to suck. But also, you know, if you're 21, like, in my experience and the experience of almost everybody I know, things don't start solidifying until 25, 26-ish, sometimes even later. Like, you know, so just don't get discouraged. You know, keep trying, make good choices, don't become destitute. But,
yeah,
you know,
Ian, I really agree with you on that part, because I've seen a lot of people that are like, hey, I want to do this thing, but this place rejected me, and so now I'm feeling really discouraged. Like, I feel like kind of like rejection is the order of the day. Like, you just gotta be persistent through that and not let the rejections phase you, because that's just part of the process. So.
GameSpot grabbed Danny O'Dwyer from Ireland. Danny O'Dwyer was living in Ireland when he moved to San Francisco to work for IGN, to work for GameSpot, and that was after being rejected several times. Like, he tried to make that happen many, many times, and then it finally happened. So
over the course of like years too, right?
Definitely keep at it, because it's like, you just imagine you being in that room. It's like when the opportunity finally happens, they don't want to be. You want to be like, oh yeah, don't we have somebody that's there, or don't we have somebody that wanted to fill that position? Let's bring them in. Versus, oh yeah, we did, but that one time the thing didn't work out with them, they got really angry and just totally cut off ties with us. I guess we'll have to grab somebody else. Like, you never know when that opportunity is going to pop up. So just you got to make yourself available.
I've got
that's why
offers
stuff.
like months or years later from stuff. It's crazy. You never know. As long as you're always positive and decent to work with. And I would say also cultivate your own interests, because you never know what's going to hit. You know, like, if you're doing things that are your hobbies that you really love but also could become somehow lucrative, can't hurt.
Something
I mean, all the time, like, even if it's not like a work role, if it's even volunteer roles, or, you know, helping out on things, like, it all blends together, right? Like, the skills that I use, you know, at GT, like, were a blend of all kinds of stuff I was doing on the side, not getting paid for.
But again, don't let yourself be taken advantage of either.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the thing is, though, it's like there's a difference. Like, you know, like you guys say, like, don't write for free. I would say definitely write for free, because it gets you writing. But it's like, you don't just jump in to like some random site that's, you know, like posting ads or like, hey, write for us kind of thing. Like, you know, if there's a place that you go to, like, say, like an RPG fan or something like that, you know, and they're looking for writers, or there's some other smaller fan sites out there, you know, and you're part of that community and you know that site, and that's just kind of how that site works, then that's fine. You know, like, I wrote for free for 5 years before I did anything with it. So
I would say, like, in my opinion, the only person to ever do free work for is yourself, because you're bettering yourself. So if you see an opportunity, like Blood is saying, that you feel like you're gaining experience or, honing your skills, then it's worth it. But if you're making something that you own, then you can sell it later, and it might not be, a waste. I don't know. Just always be doing something that is improving you.
Yeah. And to chime in on that, and on what Blood said, the more body of work you have, and Ben said this pretty much earlier, more body of work you can point to, even if it isn't for prestigious named sites, it helps. Like if you could show a pattern over X amount of years you've been writing, doing your own work, and you show that as a portfolio, you have something to point to versus, it's better than having nothing. Let's just say that. So it's not really always writing for free. It's as Ian said, it's writing for yourself because you have something you could show to people to show your talents.
Something that really changed my frame of mind in the best possible way is I read Stephen King's On Writing, and he tells a story of he would pitch short stories to this magazine that published them, and the first time he sent in a short story, they just sent it back, and there was red markings all over it, and it said, "Not for us, sorry." And rather than being discouraged or depressed or angry at the publication, he just wrote a better story. And then the next time he got a few notes, a little bit here and there, and then the next time they gave really elaborate criticism until eventually he got published in the magazine. And that was just his realization that it wasn't them, the world wasn't out to get him. He just had to write better, and he looked at his own work and he became his own critic. And I think if you're that kind of person, if you can see that as an opportunity to just get better, I think that really helps you so much. So.
Well, always write with the doors closed.
I think Huber's just being facetious.
That's advice that Stephen King gives, right?
No, it's from that book. I want to read that book, man. You talked about it a lot.
It's the best book I've ever read. Our next question comes from Andreas. He says, are any of you buying PlayStation VR at launch outside of the unit I presume EZA will be getting for coverage and impression purposes?
You assume a lot.
Yeah.
I'll probably get PSVR. Probably in on that train.
Wait, can we answer that? Are we getting a PSVR for Easy Allies?
That's not something that the requests have happened or anything. I mean, that's a little ways down the road still. I haven't heard anything about it.
It's really close, Blood.
I mean, it's likely, but I don't know how likely.
I want to get one too. I don't know if I'll be able to afford it. If I can. If it's cushy enough, absolutely.
Isn't there someone sending us one, though? Didn't a patron say they were going to send us one?
They sent us their pre-order.
Okay.
I'm undecided, yeah.
I'm waiting till Resident Evil comes out, then I'll buy them.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that killer app.
Yeah, it's gotta have good games.
It's Batman.
Final Fantasy 14 in VR. Motherfuckers.
Did you just say Final Fantasy 14?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be supported. That is not a joke.
You watched the Titan EX video in VR they did? They let people try it at PAX or something a year ago.
Did I watch it? I have it on my YouTube favorites.
It's I'm gonna throw up. I'm not into VR just because it makes me sick. So it's just a personal thing. Otherwise, when a killer app came out for it, I'd probably pick it up.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll probably get it, but I don't know if I'll jump on it at launch. It's probably too late to jump on it anyways, but yeah, we'll see.
So just Ben
And me.
and Bossman.
If it's cushy.
Hubert,
If
I
it's
think
a cushy bank account.
Hubert, I think you're gonna get it too.
No, I think Bloodworth nailed it. I think it's too late. You gotta have that pre-ordered by now, right? Yeah, it's done.
No, you gotta know who's Rick's slick.
Some backdoor shady VR deals.
Yeah.
No, but I'm 100%. I'm waiting for Resident Evil.
That's actually the reason I want it too. Is just for Resident Evil. That's it.
It's one of my weird hubrisms where I want Resident Evil VR to be as fresh and new and exciting as possible. So I don't want to do all these VR things before that.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You don't want to taint it.
I respect it.
I do too. I
But
like
what
it
if
a lot.
doing all these VR things is just like getting your body accustomed to VR?
My body is ready, Bloodworth.
Find out halfway through the game that like you didn't have the strap in the right place and you've been giving yourself headaches.
Yeah.
Our next question, we've got a lot more to get through. Our next question comes from Robert. He says, "Let's go back to Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles. Here are some talking points. With hindsight, how do you feel about this game's release, where one game was essentially released as two? Do you remember this game as being a progenitor for episodic games we have now? Did making each cartridge somewhat standalone from each other make up for each is shorter length? Specifically Sonic 3, when we didn't know Sonic and Knuckles was coming. Would the bonus feature of replaying Sonic 2 as Knuckles still impress today as it did then?"
I was always so confused as a kid. I was too young. I didn't understand
Me too.
the concept of it all. So I had
Yeah.
Sonic 3. A friend of mine, Brad, do we know who had Sonic and Knuckles?
I didn't have Sonic and Knuckles.
Okay, a friend of mine had Sonic and Knuckles for sure, and I played it, but I never had it. I was confused, and I just had Sonic 3, so
Yeah.
I just didn't understand.
I had them all. Refresh my memory. Sonic and Knuckles had the open top cartridge where you put the other cartridge in it, and then you
Yes.
could play as Knuckles,
Yes.
right?
You can put
Yes.
Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 on top of it, and you can play as Knuckles in those games.
Yeah.
Right. I remember that blew my mind at the time. The weird thing now is like, I don't know how someone would do a technology that would update to being like significant, like similar enough. You know what I mean? Because everything's digital and stuff, or a disc. So I don't know how you would do, like technologically speaking, how you could do a gimmick like that and impress to this day.
NX.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have like an
Going
NX
back
cart,
to
and you
sticking
like stack them on
cartridges and
top.
stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they did sort of. I mean, it's not the same thing, but like the Pip-Boy app on the phone actually like tracking you on the map in game and stuff. I mean, so I suppose we do cool tech things. I was
If you can-
jazzed about Sonic and Knuckles though. when I
If you
was
can
a kid.
play Knuckles in the new Mario game for NX, that would be
That'd
the
be
most
so cool.
hilarious thing.
The Sonic Boom Knuckles.
No, like just the sprite.
And you have to scan a Genesis cartridge in the camera for
Yeah.
it to work. And it's got to be
That's
3D.
something-
Like you 3D scan it, and then you get it in the game.
That's actually something I've been waiting for, where you can, like, if you buy a hard copy of a game, you can scan the UPC code, and then it goes to the servers and confirms that you actually own that copy, whatever, and then it, like, gives it to you digital and, like, puts it on everything and all this stuff. Like, that kind of tech I've been waiting for. But, whatever.
We should end every response with "but whatever." Move on to
Yeah.
the next question.
No.
Yeah.
That's like code to Ben for the next question.
Yeah, all right.
But whatever.
No, whatever. Like, and just like you looking away when you said that was really funny. Whatever. All right, our next question comes from Julio. He says, "Hi, allies. I would like to ask you what has been your most used nickname and its origin, and when you have decided to use your names."
I just remembered this the other day. I was BJ forever until college. I was BJ for the first 18 years of my life, and then I went to college and was
Wow.
like, well, I'm about to meet like 100 new people. Like, I should probably introduce myself as Brandon because that's actually my name. And I was at a restaurant the other day with Amanda, and I was like, oh yeah, I used to not be called my name for like a long time, but now I'm actually almost I'm more than twice that age. So I've been Brandon for the second half. No regrets.
It wore off around the time you started getting your names.
Yep. So there's that. There's a nickname for his.
For a long time, my friends called me Benji.
Oh,
Benji.
That sucks.
like
Yeah.
Benji Hughes.
Like Benji the dog.
Yeah, Benji the dog.
Yep, not a great one.
There's a forgotten movie series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we
Reboot
all
waiting to
just
happen.
call you, "Oh, cat." Sorry, just kidding.
A lot
Yeah,
of
I
us are last names.
Yeah,
I
you
made
see
it-
it
I
called
made it in
Ocelot.
first name or last name, just depending on the circles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wish-
Huber, I can't imagine being anything but Huber.
I wish my last name was cool enough to do that. Like, I'm so jealous of that.
But your last name will always be Moore.
Yep. Bad last name. All right. Our next question comes from Yuri Divinity. Sure hope there isn't another earthquake during my question. Anyway, directed by Hideo Kojima. That is in asterisks. So you answer that Knack is an 8. Cerny is baffled. During his confusion, you call in hawk-tie drones that tie down Cerny and drag him out of the cave.
Whoa.
While all the soldiers are busy chasing Cerny, a mysterious hooded figure with a crossbow approaches you. He unties you. Quick, he says, this way. He leads you to a secret exit, and you both get out. Who are you, you ask. My name is Norman Reedus. Rorman Needus. He says, we've got to stop Cerny. I'll give you a reward if you help me. You have 5 choices, and the game you choose will be developed. GTA 6 by Level 5. Streets of Rage 4 by Naughty Dog. WWE 2K17 by From Software. Half-Life 3 by Nipponichi Software. Onimusha 5 by Kojima Productions.
Oh
Which
my
one do you choose?
Oh.
Man.
There's your answer.
Hold on, let me
Stop
get
right there.
let me get to the question. P.S. You guys need to play easy at Cards Against Humanity. Me and a few other guys have made a custom deck with over 1,500 cards, and you can play online. All right.
Whoa!
So yeah,
That's the real question.
Those games are amazing.
I think it's
Onimusha.
Onimusha by Kojima.
Yeah,
Productions,
Onimusha.
though, right?
Yeah, Onimusha is the actual good game there. Yeah.
Yo,
What's the first one?
WWE can be sick. by
WWE
From
for
Software. Don't even tell me
software,
that.
yeah.
Come on. Think of the
Seriously.
parry system.
The first one was GTA 6 by Level 5.
Oh, I don't think it's gonna be right. I don't
I'm
think that's gonna work
I'm
out.
saying
No.
Streets of Rage
No.
from Naughty Dog.
That's gonna be terrible.
No, I want that. I think that's my pick as well.
I believe in Naughty Dog. I'm going with it.
Okay. Have
And he
fun with your
says-
bad game, guys.
There's gonna be a cover system, but
Yeah.
He says, "Help me." He wants money. I assume this is warfare against Cerny, and so he says, "Help me," as in like we need a game that will sell well. Streets of Rage 4 by Naughty Dog is going to make us the most influence.
No. Nope.
Onimusha 5 is going to get us more influence than Streets of
By
Rage.
Kojima Productions?
Yeah.
Can you imagine
Yeah.
what the reveal trailer would be like for Onimusha 5 by Kojima Productions? That trailer alone would get millions of views.
You've lost
When
us
you're
the
like-
war.
No, not at all. Streets of Rage 4, like, there aren't that many people that know what Streets of Rage is, but everybody's hot on Kojima. That's still the Metal Gear Solid 5 controversy. You show a 6 Samurai game, it doesn't even matter what it's called, by Kojima Productions, with that Kojima Productions trailer, you have a hit on your hands, guaranteed.
Yeah, don't you remember how like
I just
was
won you the
Castlevania?
war. Don't give me that.
This might simply be a test from Norman Needus as well.
What would
They
that
already
test be?
tried. They already tried Metal Gear. Metal Gear Rising was the original title, right? Metal Gear Rising.
What are you talking about, Huber?
They already tried their 6 Samurai game and it never happened. They had to pawn it
no,
off
they didn't.
to Platinum Games.
Yeah, because
Good
like
point. It's a good point.
no, that's an invalid point because Kojima, like Konami was like going under. They were having like terrible problems. They're trying to do too much at once. They actually saved it by giving it to Platinum Games, but independent Kojima Productions could make a 6 Samurai game.
Hell yeah, they're all 10s. Level
Nope.
5 doing GTA is weird.
Level 5 doing Nipponichi doing Half-Life 3 is like probably the most strong.
Mike, think about the Demon Balor entrance by From Software.
I know. It's so good. Oh
The
my
facial
god.
animations are going to be so off, you know it.
There's just no lip syncing.
None of those wrestlers are going to look like what they look like in real life.
Think about the
They have dumb noses.
Oh my god, a From Software WWE promo, like that dialogue between the wrestlers.
It would be the best.
Oh my god.
It would be the best. High stakes on everything.
So, it's good.
Man,
whatever.
that question made me so mad. All right.
I love that question.
No, not the question. I should say the responses to that question. All right. This comes from Taylor. He says, "Hey allies, love everything you guys do. Just wondering if you are fans of Frank Ocean. He's an experimental R&B artist who released his first album 4 years ago. On top of that, an art film with pretty much every other album's worth of music. If not, I suggest you check him out. He's amazing. And would start with his new album, Blonde. He could somewhat relate to video games because his first project interludes are named after Metal Gear Solid, Street Fighter, Soul Calibur. First debut album starts with a PS1 startup sound, and his current site's loading screen is the Dreamcast logo. Yeah, I love Frank Ocean. Blonde is a really, really good album. I have been listening to that pretty much on repeat, like every day. It's really good.
I gotta check it out.
Yeah, Ian, I think you especially would love it. Yeah, for sure.
I was looking at these Cards Against Humanity cards. They're pretty crazy.
Yeah.
How'd you find them?
I just Googled it. I don't
These
understand
are
how to
Cards
play it
Against
online. This pretend you're XYZZY thing is very confusing to me. But
Our next question comes from Alex Castellanos. He says, "Good day, allies. I'm just curious to know if any of you saw the Kind of Funny Studios reveal this past Monday. Seeing what they were able to do in a little over 2 years, had to give you all thoughts and ideas for what you could do as well. A studio is possible. Don't lose heart. Much love and respect, Alex."
All the thoughts, all the emotions. Yes. Yes. Yeah, it's very, very cool, the stuff that they put together. I actually got a tease of that at PAX, not at PAX, at Comic-Con. Tim Geddes was really excited. He was like, "Come here," and showed me like pictures of it. Yeah, super stoked for them. Glad they didn't do that like right away. Like if they had done that like within 2 months of starting Kind of Funny, be like, oh, be like a tough act to follow. But 2 years sounds like a reasonable timeline. So that's like something that challenge accepted. I would like to beat that. 1.5 years. I'd like to get in the studio. But yeah, super stoked on that. Can't wait to get up there and check it out.
Nice.
Yeah. Could not want a studio more than I want it now. It's impossible.
It's kind of what I always wanted at GT because of its versatility. Basically, it has a huge screen behind them. So basically they can change their sets in an instant. And so while they're using one set for 5 different shows, they all have distinct visual differences between them and identities. It's really, really nice.
I know this is probably going to... Maybe this doesn't make any sense, but I've kind of grown attached to our sort of like DIY vibe. Like I feel like I have an emotional attachment to Brandon's garage and like how we have this whole setup. I don't know. There's just kind of a charm to it for me that like as excited as I would be for a studio and as better as I think it would be for the group as a whole, like it's the right decision. I definitely feel like we'd be leaving a little bit of something behind. So
I do enjoy our decentralized free agent kind of work style, but I think we could still probably maintain that with a studio.
Yeah, we probably could.
But whatever.
Nostalgia. Our next question comes from Steven. He says, "Hey allies, what is the Nickelback of gaming?"
Borderlands.
Yeah, Borderlands.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think he nailed it.
Yeah.
Holy
Straight up.
cow, dude.
All right, next question.
That was a bullseye, Huber. Bullseye. You just pulled the bow back. Just poof. Done. Walked away. Didn't confirm the shot. He knew he had it.
Our next question is from Brian Kaz. He says, "Hello, allies. Are there any sequels or expansions made by the same team as the initial release that you feel missed what made the original so good? For me, it's Wolfenstein: The Old Blood. I love the New Order, but I kind of hated the expansions encounters and feel the zombies are some of the least fun I've experienced. The bolt action rifle was, in my opinion, the only real improvement over the base game, plus everything else a step back. Hype is through the roof for the new Colossus, and it's a full release and not a budget expansion, but the Old Blood definitely left a bad taste in my mouth."
Bloodworth, I know what you're going to say right now.
What's
I
that?
got one.
Missing Link.
Right now.
Missing Link.
Yeah.
Yeah, Missing Link. I didn't like the concept from the beginning, so I had never played the DLC until the retro, and then it just sealed the deal on why the concept was bad, which I explained in the retro. But it's just, yeah, the whole idea that you fill in this gap of time that didn't need to be filled, that doesn't feel like there's any gap, and then you wedge in all this other stuff, and then you just make him get back into another pod and go onto another boat, like that. What? It's just really, really bizarre. And then the first half of it, gameplay wise, is kind of a nightmare because you're like in a ship with a bunch of shipping containers, and it's just like this maze where everything looks the same. Second half of it, I did dig though. And then taking away all your skills. That was great.
The thing that's funny about your
save file at all.
What I love is I always try to keep I try not to have retrospectives be opinionated at all.
Right.
Just because we're it's just the facts, man. We're just here to tell you what's going on. Like this, we can't say. I like that. I actually saw a lot of people that said that they appreciated we didn't like really rag on Invisible War. We're just kind of like, well, here's what reviewers said, and it is a lot shorter than the first game. Like that's a fact. But I love that. Like I allowed Bloodworth to get so harsh as to say this expansion feels like a bad afterthought.
Whoa.
That's as harsh as we'll get in retros. But after the fact, when I was watching the export, I was like, maybe take the word "bad" out. You could say it feels like an afterthought because it really does. But a bad afterthought, woof, harsh.
Yeah. No, I mean, I definitely had some reservations on that at times, but I kind of stuck with it.
No.
Huber, I have a very important question for you.
Yeah.
Why is the Shenmue vinyl at Brandon Jones's garage right now? Why isn't that like underneath your pillow?
Because we're keeping it there safe. Ian is gonna bring his record player.
You left your Lego too.
Nice.
What?
Damiani.
I don't know the record player.
Ian, you said you'd like it was Dawn. It was Dawn. Save your Dawn. Yeah, he's bringing it Tuesday.
So we're gonna play it live.
We're just gonna have a listening stream.
Yeah.
Mists of Pandaria got me to stop playing WoW, so maybe that.
Nice.
Oh,
That's a good example.
That's a good one.
Sorry, go ahead, Damian.
Just Prince of Persia: Warrior Within after Sands of Time. Like Warrior Within, I was like this gothic, like violent, like overly, like trying to be hip, mature. I was like edgy.
Yeah.
I was
like chasing you. Yeah.
They missed the point of everything that like made me like Sands of Time. I was like, no.
Loved it.
Bye.
Yeah.
It's a totally different Prince
of,
character. I was like, whatever. Bye.
I think of Alan Wake.
Ooh. Sorry, Damiani just gave us the sign to move on.
But whatever.
No.
Whatever.
Huber had something to say.
Yeah, I got one.
It doesn't matter. He gave us the code word.
Alan Wake,
Let the people talk.
the expansion, American Nightmare or whatever. It's just like
It's a sequel. Yeah, that was no good.
So,
It's a perfect example.
But whatever.
Yeah. Dark Souls 2.
It's a new meme now.
Dark Souls 2.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Really good game.
I feel you, Brad.
Not as great as the others.
I still have to play 3, so.
Weakest link.
It's the weakest link for sure.
It's not a 10, it's a 9.
I think
No Miyazaki.
I think Dragon Age 2 really poisoned the well for me
Ooh, good pick,
in a
Ben.
lot of ways. Also, Miss Pandaria is great. I don't care what anyone says. It's a good
Lords
expansion.
of Shadow 2.
So they.
I would say Lords of Shadow 1.
Dude, Lords of Shadow 2, my
So Lords of Shadow 1, I know it's not a great Castlevania game.
No, it's just not a great game. It's like,
a good game.
forget the
It's a
Castlevania.
good
I
game.
like Lords of Shadow 1.
It's
So
a
does
texture.
Brad.
Go play it again. I
We all
dare
like
you to go.
we all
Dare
I
like
thought
it's our
What's up?
opinion. We like the game, it's fine. But I just don't like
No.
the second one at all. And I think especially
the whole thing where he became Dracula, like at the end of that first game.
it was a cool payoff. I
No,
love it.
it was this turn that felt like it came out of nowhere, and from the beginning, I was just like, nope, this is dumb. Stop.
I like it.
No, I was into being Dracula. I thought it was cool. Something different than that series tried to do.
Yeah,
I mean, trying to do it, sure, but the way they did it, it just
Are
didn't
you
sell me
kidding
on
me?
it
Something
whatsoever.
different? That twist has happened like 6 times in Castlevania.
Well, I'm saying it's different it's somewhat different for a Castlevania game where it's always the same thing.
All right. Our next question is from Garrett. It seems that for most of the allies, the PS4 is the console of choice. What are the main reasons that you all chose one console over the other? For instance, I have stuck with Microsoft because I really don't like the feel of the PlayStation controller. When I was younger, all of my friends were on Xbox Live. Thanks, guys.
When I was younger, everyone was on Xbox Live. How old is this person?
Damn.
That's a book
That makes
game.
me feel old.
Xbox Live has been around for a while now,
It's a
Damiani.
country song.
Yeah, like when did Xbox come out? Like 2000, 2001? It's only been like
Yeah.
Xbox Live wasn't really a big thing on the first Xbox
Yeah,
other than
wasn't it
Halo.
like
That's
the
not Halo.
yeah?
Yeah,
And,
Halo 2
uh,
came out,
Splinter
it
Cell.
was.
Halo 2 had Xbox.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, Halo 2 is when it hit, basically.
So yeah, I would say
Everyone in-
2004.
I remember everyone in college was playing Halo.
On LAN.
One of the Halos.
The original one, everyone was like doing LAN parties like crazy.
Wasn't the original Mech Assault the first Xbox Live game, which I think was earlier than that?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean Xbox Live was really weird when it started. Like it had like
It was.
all these little arcade games and stuff.
yeah, like
If you bought the Xbox Live thing initially, like they had this package that you could go to like a Best Buy and buy, you got a year free.
nice.
Whoa.
I wish they
Yeah.
could do that today.
Yeah, sorry.
Even-
I thought
Even when Xbox 360 launched, like the idea of Xbox Live Arcade and digital downloading games was really like bizarre. Like just everything had to be like very simple and bite-sized.
I remember
Uh,
just being super pissed that you had to pay to play with people. I thought that was so ridiculous, and I didn't understand why people would put up with that at the time.
For me, it was just exclusives. I liked PlayStation first-party games more.
Yeah.
God of War and Uncharted and Ratchet and Clank was like one of the biggest ones that really like solidified me loving Sony.
Oh, in terms of like why play PS4 more often than Xbox One, I guess is the question.
Yeah.
I think this is this weird sense of because it was the same last cycle with the Xbox 360. Like there's this sense that the industry is sort of going toward a standard. Like PS4 is sort of the industry default that developers focus on because of the balance of, like PC is obviously a whole nother thing, and then the PS4 is a bit more powerful or whatever, or a bit more, maybe the popularity that they focus on the PS4. It just sort of feels like that's where things are at, but I don't know. I bounce between all of my systems fairly evenly, so it's just a matter of what I'm playing.
For me, it was because I had a Genesis, so I never had any Nintendo system, and then I had a Genesis, and then I had a PlayStation, and I've always loved PlayStation. The games were just so precious to me. And then Xbox came out, and it just seemed like it was, I don't know, I've always had this impression that it was aimed at a different demographic than me. Like, I don't know, people who like sports or something. Like, just like some weird feeling I've always had that it's just not for me, like not my demographic, which is really silly and weird because it's basically all the same, but I really like the PlayStation controller and the vibes of the PlayStation and the games and stuff.
I tend to favor PlayStation more. I only got a 360 in the first place because of those stupid exclusive deals they made for those JRPGs at the beginning, like Lost Odyssey. I was like, and Tales of Vesperia. I was like, are you kidding me? Why Microsoft? But so I tend to also like Sony's first-party offerings more than Microsoft's first-party offerings.
Yeah, I think that's very true at this point.
Yeah,
in my
like
life as well.
it's not like a bias thing. It's just I feel more confident in what Sony's going to put out, so I tend to favor their system. And the only time I wasn't like really into Sony's system was just the beginning of the PS3 360 era, where PS3 was just too expensive and Sony was way too arrogant. I was just not digging their vibe, and Microsoft had everything coming on it anyway, so I was like, you know what, screw it, I'll get a 360. It's not going to be the end of the world, but I still don't have an Xbox One. I just nothing exclusive on it that really interests me.
All the Japanese games are on PlayStation. That's pretty much why I stuck with them through everything.
I think it just depends on the phase for me, because I think during the Xbox PS2 days, like the PS2 just had more going on that I was into, but I was way more into the 360 than I was the PlayStation 3 by like leaps and bounds. Like I thought the PlayStation 3 sucked for like the first 3 years of its life, and I had both of them right away. But then this generation, the PS4 just has more games coming to it that I care about, like both little and big. I just like every month I want to play my Xbox One, but I feel like there's very little like exclusive new exciting things happening on it, and That didn't always used to be a case. Like Sunset Overdrive was really exciting. I was super thrilled to play that, and like at launch when they had like Rise and some other things as well, I was really hopeful. But I feel like over time, the Xbox One has had like less and less going on, which is why I've been playing my PS4 more.
Yeah. Recore coming out next month though.
Yeah, Recore. I'm excited about Recore for sure. But yeah, I don't have like allegiance toward one.
That's
or the other
actually
now.
that's actually like 2 weeks away. I gotta get on that.
I believe in Recore. I want that game to be good.
Yeah, I do too. I really don't want that game to let me down.
Does Kyle believe in it? Is what I want to know.
I'm nervous about Recore.
Are you?
Rightfully so. I
Yeah.
think.
Yep.
I think it looks bad. So there you go.
Yeah, I'm in this place where I'm still very wait and see about it. Like I enjoyed what I played at E3, but I'm not 100% convinced that it's going to be great. But I want it to be great.
I remember before E3, I said I have big hopes for Recore. I think it might be Xbox's Zelda game. And then today there was a gaff thread about Games Radar saying, here's 10 reasons why Recore is Xbox's Zelda. And I said, shut up. Like, no. Like,
Pretentious.
There you go. There
one
you go,
E3
Kyle.
was enough. Yeah, one
There
E3 was
you go,
enough.
Kyle. Yeah, I get that thrown at me a lot. It's like, are you gonna try Recore? People are saying it's like Zelda, and I'm like, that's always a warning sign for me when people tell me that. I'm like, bad omen usually.
Yeah.
It's like when people say about Dark Souls. It's the
Yeah.
Dark Souls of this. Blah, blah,
What
blah.
gets this turned from Dark Souls?
It's gotten to the point where that has no meaning. Where you say like, this is the Dark Souls of visual novels, and it's like, what the fuck does that even mean?
Yeah.
That's the joke now.
It's difficult to read.
Yeah.
The pages might kill you.
Yeah, the
Ben-
font
Ben,
size is
you're
so
the-
small.
Ben, you're the Dark Souls of Q&A hosts.
Whoa.
Jones wants a new
yeah.
question.
High praise. Or
Uh,
scathing.
Well, whatever.
Yeah. See, it just means nothing. It could go. It could go
Yeah.
either direction. Our next question is from Life. He says, "Hi, Alice. I'm a PC gamer, and there's something I do not understand about next-gen console cycles. I get the impression that mostly you guys are looking forward to the NX, but not the others. So I guess the NX is great because the Wii U is not. Scorpio
What?
might be boring because Microsoft has promised to bring everything to PC, but Neo, what's not to like? It's fully compatible and completely optional. I think there are a lot of assumptions being made here. I'm excited for all three. Like, I think they could all potentially be exciting depending on like the support and what they do for games. Like, I'm not necessarily like, we don't have a full picture on everything. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily looking forward to one more than the other. I think maybe why you're sensing some more enthusiasm for the NX is that it is not an updated console. It is a totally new console, which could have like some bigger implications. And I think there's just maybe a little bit more to speculate about there. But I'm not necessarily, I'm not necessarily down on one or the other.
I think Nintendo also has the most to lose out of all three offerings. I think it will affect their bottom line, or they want it to affect their bottom line more than Microsoft and Sony does with their like quote unquote new consoles. So I think that's why you just hear us talk about it more, because it's just so fascinating.
Make it not me
Just
every
kind
time I
of
do that.
what could they do to bring it around?
Yeah.
Whoa.
We don't know a lot officially about.
Hubert and Hubert.
Yeah.
Well,
What's happening to Huber?
Huber.
I think he turned his camera off, but not his mic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just hungry.
But no, this happened back with like Wii as well and Wii U. Like before we knew much about them, like the speculation part is like the best time, like the most optimistic, and that's where NX is now, because Nintendo hasn't said anything official about what it really is. So
Yeah, because that's the thing. We basically know like the Scorpio and the Neo, like they're gonna be upgraded versions of what we already have, and neither one of those companies is gonna want to rock the boat too much, you know. Whereas Nintendo's gonna rock the whole boat. Nintendo's gonna flip the boat over, and we're gonna be like, okay, is that good or bad? We don't have any idea. Do you have a submarine? You know, is this a submarine? Is that how this works, or are you just gonna have a boat that's capsizing?
It's a submarine that you can also take handheld when you leave the house.
it's Spy Hunter. It's a car, then a boat.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Vin Diesel.
Remember where you heard it.
Our next question comes from Zelko. He says, "Hello, allies. You just created your own video game company, Giant. What is your company name? What is your mascot and its name? What is your first game called and the genre with said mascot? Keep up the good work.
We should probably do this as a group. I think individually this would take a long time.
Yeah.
So we got to decide.
I think we should keep our branding. I think it should be Easy Allies.
It's the Easy Allies what? What's the name of the console? Or is it a game? We made a game.
It's a company.
We're a studio.
Right, okay.
You know what our mascot is.
Yeah, Easy Allies is the same.
Our mascot is Lightning, 100%.
Obviously.
Or
But
so
we name her something else.
No.
Okay.
But as
we pay for the rights because we can do that.
We also do not pay for the rights.
But in Lightning's new game, it's not Lightning the character, it's actually still the stand-up. And it's kind of like Zelda games, where like Zelda will just stand there and look at someone, and they'll go, "Interesting point, Lightning," and Lightning will just kind of like be standing there. And it's like turn-based, so all these amazing spells are happening that like Lightning's doing, but Lightning never moves. Like Lightning.
Oh,
it's kinda
well, maybe it could be like Ghost Trick.
Yeah, like, what's the
Lightning is just standing there, and it seems like nothing's happening, but she's secretly influencing everything that we do.
What's the comedy with like the grandpa that's always frozen? That like they always reference the grandpa, but like he's never moving. He's always like in the background, and they're like, "Oh, grandpa, you're so crazy," and he's like what? I don't
I think
remember.
that was
the show.
Cheers. I've got no idea.
What?
Yeah, I think it was Cheers. Good call, Bossman. Yeah.
Enough with the cheers.
That was in the 90s.
Oh, the one that introduced Coldplay to the world.
Did we answer all the questions? Was there mascot?
We did
name?
actually. We did.
We did.
Nice.
We don't know what. I do not need to know what word comes after Easy Allies. You know what I mean? Is it Easy Allies Limited or Easy Allies Conglomerate?
Studios.
Okay.
Because then you do whatever. Then we can make movies or TV shows or whatever, and people aren't like, what?
I think
Easy
we
Allies
don't
Game
put a
Studios?
word.
And
TV show?
we'd have a studio.
And we'd have a studio. There you go.
Our next question comes from Adam. He says, "You guys have two excellent podcasts. In fact, they're so good you've inspired me to start my own. It's a football soccer podcast, so you don't have to worry about competition. As Kyle and Ben are the moderators, I'm curious what your workload for the two podcasts are. How much time do you spend preparing topics and thinking of questions? And most importantly, do you enjoy moderating? Cheers, lads. My podcast is called the Subs Bench Podcast, by the way, if you guys want to bone up on your soccer. Take it away, Kyle.
So, one part that sucks is reading through all the comments of the previous week and writing down which one of those are corrections. That takes a long time every week. Going through stories and reading through them to a level that I feel comfortable introducing them to the panel takes a while too. And then reading through Love and Respect, everybody's submissions every week, that takes a long time too. And then trying to pick which are going to be the best. I love moderating though. I love finding juicy topics and seeing what these people respond to them with, because I think why our podcast works, and probably Ben's as well, is that I genuinely care about how people will respond. I genuinely am interested in the opinions of the people I do these with, because they're my buddies, but also they're interesting video game people, and they all have different opinions, even Jones. So I love listening to those things. And I think that's one of the reasons why I like moderating, is you got to care about your panel. You got to care about the people who are talking, or else you won't be invested. And you also have to care about what you're talking about. Clearly you care about soccer/football, and so that will come across probably as well.
I think just because of the nature of Frame Trap, I don't probably have to do as much prep time as Kyle, just because like I don't have to do corrections and I don't have to necessarily be as caught up on the news. But it is hard thinking of a Hotake, because you're essentially thinking of something like, okay, what's something that we can talk about for not just 5 minutes, not just 10 minutes, but like potentially 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or an hour, and finding something every single week that can fill that amount of time is difficult. Also, picking the right emails, I've definitely learned over time what's good and what's bad. But as far as moderating goes, yeah, I love it. It's way more difficult than I thought it would be, and I think Kyle is right on the money that you have to care about your panel and what they're saying, and that's where the fun of it is. That's where the joy of it is. But finding the balance between moving things along and trying to curate things, as it is with a Q&A, and giving enough room to let people speak can be very, very difficult, because I think if you try to be too controlling or too demanding, no one's having any fun and they're just getting upset. But if you keep it too loose, then you're losing your audience, and things just kind of meander and get boring that way. So finding the balance there, especially on something like as long and as loose as Frame Trap, has been difficult. Still not great at it, but trying to get better every time. So our next question comes from Tim. He says, after a few failed efforts with dinosaur-related theme parks, John Hammond has called upon the Allies' expertise to inspect his new parks. It's pretty bare bones at the moment, but he wants your input to build something truly remarkable. Anything is possible. The next team is still on board, and Hammond is still able to acquire any IP, despite the numerous Dinosaur Ate My Family lawsuits. The only words of wisdom he gives you are spare no expense. Allies, build this park and give it a name.
Wow.
They themed off anything?
We need Dawn here.
Oh,
So
no, we
hold
definitely
on.
need Don. Wait.
I need to know something important. So we've said 3 failed parks. Does this take place before Jurassic World then?
No, 3 failed parks doesn't mean 3 failed movies. There were only 2 parks actually.
There are only 2 parks.
Okay.
Jurassic Park 2 and Jurassic Park 3 were not in parks. They were just on islands.
Okay.
I think it's just saying like he's tried 3 different things and it didn't work, so now he's gonna try something else.
To clarify in the language, it actually says after a few failed efforts with dinosaur-related theme parks, not specifically 3.
Okay.
But this can be anything.
And we have Gen X, so they're still around, in Gen, I mean, right? That's what he said. In Gen.
I can't tell if this is build your own theme park question or if this is a continue Ian Hammond's legacy question.
Yeah. We're building a dinosaur theme park.
John Hammond.
Oh, okay. Or sorry.
Yeah.
Ian Malcolm.
John Hammond, Ian Malcolm, right. I did that.
Ian Hink. I don't know. I think my interpretation is it doesn't have to be dinosaur related.
Yeah. What do you think, Ben? It's your call.
Um,
Because if it's not, Gothic horror theme park all day. I mean,
so it does say that the genetics team is still on board, and you are trying to honor John Hammond's legacy. But it does not say it has to be a dinosaur.
But Gothic horror dinosaurs is so cool.
That's what I'm saying. Is we play into instead of John Hammond's problem is he keeps trying to control things that can't be controlled. So the park that you make is intentionally Dino Crisis. The park is somehow, I don't know if you try to make it so people can't die, but the park that you make is meant to be terrifying
you
and
simulate dinosaurs eating you and the park breaking.
Right. The park.
So
the
when it
point
does
of
break,
the
no one
park,
gets scared because they're expecting it.
Yeah, the point of the park is to go on this crazy adventure where you're trapped on this island and there are dinosaurs everywhere. That's the experience you're paying for. So it's like a Gothic horror dinosaur,
haunted
mansion with dinosaurs. Yeah, it's like a experience of terrifying glee on this island. So I mean, maybe the dinosaurs are somehow defanged or there are non-meat eaters, but
I would trade on something though. My favorite theme parks are obviously about imagination, and my favorite rides are about imagination. And Jurassic Park is not at all about imagination. This thing is right here in front of you.
It's a
zoo. It's SeaWorld. It's kind of boring after a while. And so
just like Jurassic World.
I like the idea of building narratives. I like the idea of our rides having narratives and stuff like that.
I would build a human theme park for dinosaurs.
Tell me what that is, Jones.
Well, whatever.
It's people within the cages, and then the dinosaurs are on the carts, just going by.
And they're like, what the hell is going on?
I like this one a lot. Our next question comes from Alexander. He said, what was happening in your last nightmare? I actually have one for this. So I was running a race, on a track, and it was for some, even though this would never happen in real life, it was for some big competition, and I would start running the race, and I would fall down on my knees, and no matter what I tried to do, I couldn't get up. All I could do is slowly crawl along the track, and that was my nightmare.
Guns of Patriots.
Yeah.
So I had a friend who I grew up playing video games with. I would go over to his house to play N64 games, and he would play my PlayStation. I'm not in contact with this friend anymore. He's not on Facebook. He's not on anything. So I have no idea what his life is up to. I know he got married at one point. I had a dream just 2 nights ago where his mom was trying to kill me. And she set a trap up in my apartment that was just a maze. And the weird thing was the tone. The tone of her trying to kill me was jokey, like there was no way she could, but the whole dream was about her making weird attempts to trick me into dying.
Wow.
That was my nightmare.
I don't always remember my dreams, and my dreams are always really creepy and weird, but they never scare me really, and I'm almost never in them. The dreams that I don't really have nightmares a lot, but the dreams that really suck the most are the dreams that are good, that are so good, and then you wake up and you realize, oh, life is trash.
Is the nightmare.
You're right,
So
man.
those are real nightmares where I'm the person I want to be and I have all the things I want, and then I wake up and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that's true.
Or if you just get something done or get something that you've been wanting to get for a long time, and then you realize you don't have it.
Yeah. I had one dream that was the inverse of that, where I dreamt that I didn't have a PlayStation 2, and then I woke up and I still did, and then I was just like, yes!
I had a reoccurring nightmare as a child where the Count from Sesame Street, without legs, very important, no legs, floating, would fly around and try to tickle me. And he would wreck a dream. Like, I'd be having a really nice dream, and I'd be like out at Disneyland, I'd be like with friends, and I'd say like, hey, everything's great. And then everyone else in the dream all of a sudden would be like, oh no, and then the cat would just come flying in.
Wow.
Dude, Jones, this is actually really weird. When I was younger, like high school age, I kind of had a very similar dream. We were hanging out in my backyard down at the bottom of the hill doing whatever, and it was fun. And then I remember turning to my right, and it's like one of those moments where you just see something really creepy and your skin just turns to ice. The Count from Sesame Street was just hovering at the top of the hill staring at us. And I remember we all just stopped and were looking up at the Count, and we were all like, what the hell? And then I woke up. But it was
and I have no ill will against the Count. I love the Count. As a child, I loved the character. I wasn't this was not a manifestation of my real life Count fears. I have no idea how I manifested the Count as a nemesis in my dreamscape.
This is really good stuff.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I don't dream anymore.
Yeah.
It sucks. I just don't dream. I don't know why.
Oh, man.
My dreams are in real life.
Our next and final question of the session.
Ooh. Here we go.
Whoa.
Comes from Trung. He says, some of you have said that there is an oversaturation of open world games and space themes. I also feel there have been a lot of first-person shooters among others. What genre and setting do you wish got some more love from developers? For example,
open world games.
I'd love to have a Zack and Wiki style of puzzle game set inside a mansion.
Oh, yeah,
Whoa.
please.
That game sounds cool.
Not a puzzle game.
What's that, Kyle?
Oh god.
What'd you say, Kyle?
Don't
Just
start.
mute, Kyle.
Would you like to repeat that?
Third-person adventure games. I want to see more of. I want to see the Zelda of Xbox, a third-person adventure game. I want to see more people just make Zelda games. I want to see more Mega Man Legends. I love third-person adventure.
Majin. Play some Majin.
Yeah.
Majin's pretty good.
Horizon Zero Dawn is probably going to be there, I think. I'm into it. I'm into that kind of thing.
I would probably, yeah, it's kind of hard because I feel like most genres are being done pretty well in some form or another, but I would say 3D platformers. They're really hard to come by. And even when they're in their heyday, there were not very many of them that were actually good. But it would be nice to see people actually trying to push those boundaries, because I feel like now we've kind of moved away from platforming to just traversal.
Yep. I would love us to hit a saturation of awesome 3D platformers. Let's hit that. I want that to happen. I want to complain about too many good 3D platformers.
More local co-op, story games. Not just co-op battle games like Worms and stuff, but 2 players going through a story.
Nice.
I want more games that either music is a core component or they're primarily inspired by music but aren't rhythm games. So like Jet Set Radio, or like a Sound Shapes, or like a Space Channel 5, or something like that, where like
Rap
music.
the Rapper.
Parappa the Rapper is a perfect example. Yeah, that's exactly where I'm kind of going for. Just like these super stylish games that have their own soundtracks, and that soundtrack like drives a lot of the gameplay. I think
Should
it'd be
play
really cool.
Bound.
Yeah, Bound. Yeah, I need to play Bound. Good point.
I want to see more sprite-based 2D Metroidvania, like true Metroidvania style games that are of, astonishing quality. But
What do you mean
sprite-based.
true?
Like, I don't know. I guess like
Is Damiani playing the bongos? I'm sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt.
Yeah, he's like playing Donkey Kong Jungle Beat over there or something.
What are you doing, Damiani?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to make my cat not bite my legs right now without. I'm trying to like be as still as possible and not like mess up. Yeah.
All
I
right.
really wish he was playing DK's Jungle Beat.
We need more DK jungle beat.
That's funny.
But yeah, whatever.
Yeah, sprites in general would be nice.
Yeah.
It's a little like Bloodstain is kind of disappointing because
That's
of the
what I
weird-
meant. Like that's why I said true sprite-based Metroidvania, like
Okay.
where it's an actual, not like a CG. Like, cause yeah, I was so excited for Bloodstain, and I just don't like the way it looks. Indivisible looks cool, cause it's got that kind of hand-drawn vibe, if I'm recalling correctly. But yeah. like Bloodstain just looks kind of gross to me. It looks kind of like that weird CG, like where it looks like claymation almost. Everything's kind of shiny and plasticine.
The thing is it's it's not like it can't be done right that way either though. Because Ori is basically doing that. Ori is
Or
basically
inside looks
a
great.
3D engine that's running a 2D game.
Yeah.
But it looks awesome. So
But yeah, Bloodstain doesn't. It looks gross.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a genre, but I've been thinking about LA Noire a lot lately. I was chatting with somebody and they were like, "What happened?" To, like what happened to that tech? Like, where did that? Like, it seemed like we were on the verge of something happening, and it didn't happen. And I just remember I would just love like an open world, but like I would just love like a city-based. Maybe this is because I'm just finishing Deus Ex, but like a noir like mystery that I had to solve, where like everything was kind of put on the like lots of conspiracy going on. Everybody hates my character. Like, be kind of fun, whether it's in the future or past or present day.
Dude, Jones, I'll never forget.
Good noir mystery.
When LA Noire came out, I played for like 10 hours straight, and then immediately started watching TV afterwards. And because the game is so like it looked so good at the time in like conversations, I was watching TV and it felt like I was watching the game. It was the most bizarre feeling I ever had.
Unreality within unreality.
Yeah, it was weird.
Faker and faker.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
Whatever.
Whatever. That's gonna do it for us. And
We got through them all.
No, we did not get through nearly all
I
of
was
them.
just saying no.
No, we've got a mountain of questions still left. But if you would like to submit a question, I'm going to try to post this a little bit early in September, and then we always actually do the Q&A the last Saturday of the month. So if you want to tune in live, I will post a YouTube link for patrons $20 and above. They get to ask the questions, and they get to ask live, and then eventually the video will be on YouTube for everyone. After a set amount of time. So thank you, panel, so much for your thoughtful and troll-filled answers. I appreciate it. And we will see you guys next month to do this once again. Thanks, everybody.